Hi everyone, Kristin here, and today I'm bringing you the second video in our Financial Empowerment for Women series. Today we're going to discuss some of the financial traps that women typically fall into and how to avoid them. The first trap that women typically fall into is that they do not educate themselves financially. This can be because we're just busy with regular life, taking care of the kids, coming to and from work, juggling many hats, and we simply don't have the time, ladies, to take this information and use it to our advantage. So just be mindful of this. The way to overcome this is really just to take a little bit of time, research some financial blogs. There's plenty of them out there. There's also lots of podcasts that you could check into just as you're driving with your children, taking them to and from places or coming to and from work. Bryce Carter here at FSG has a phenomenal podcast. It's called Prosperity by the Pint. It has a lot of great information in there to help you start investing and planning for your financial future. Also, your employer might have some educational materials in their benefits department that might be suitable for you as well, and plan-specific information for your 401k and other investments available to you. The second trap that women typically fall into is that they're not very active in family financial planning. All too often, we let our spouses handle all the finances, and this can pose a problem later in life because, ladies, we live longer than men. There's a good chance that one day you're going to be on your own. And at that point, you're going to wish that you had taken the time to know exactly where you're at on your financial path. Make sure that you're sitting down with your spouse and actively participating in planning the long-term financial goals, and also knowing where to access your information. You need to know where your money's at and who to contact if perhaps you ever need to look up information or make changes. The third trap that women typically fall into is we save too little too late. And this can happen for a lot of different reasons. We tend to work a little bit less than men, make a little bit less money, and yet again, we're just not focused on those things financially. And there is always something else to pay for, ladies. We're constantly stopping at the grocery store to get snacks for soccer practice or to buy the kids something that they need to work on, like a project at school with. All these things basically lead to us having less to save than what we should. So in order to fix this, try to make it a mental habit to pay yourself first. This essentially means putting money away to save for your retirement, for emergency funds, and doing this before you spend any of your other money. Always take a look at your expenses and what your current budget is and determine, is this purchase really necessary right now? Do I need this right now? And lastly, make sure that you're not running up credit card debt, charging these extra expenses. That can really get out of hand and can lead you with a big, nasty mess of debt to conquer later in life, and it can get unmanageable. So the more you're mindful of that early on, the better off you'll be later. The last financial trap that we typically fall into is not following a budget. Yet again, we usually put everybody else first, and we're out there using our money for all these small expenses, and things don't add up at the end of the day because we get overwhelmed. So make sure that you are actively budget planning with your spouse or significant other if you have one, and make sure that you're following this budget. If you find yourself falling into any of these traps that we discussed, just keep in mind there's still time to make changes. It's not always easy and it takes time and mindfulness, but if we train ourselves to make mindful, wise financial choices early on, then we will have a much better future. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.